hill is on fire with sound. Smoke hangs thick between the trees. Shouts echo, then cut off. A man on horseback rides back and forth across the ridge, blowing a silver whistle again and again, trying to hold everything together. Shots crack from the woods below. Then, in a sudden burst of chaos, the horse stumbles. The rider jerks, stiffens, and falls. In that moment, the battle breaks open, and no one on that hill knows if they are about to win or be wiped out. Just weeks earlier, this fight didn't even seem possible. By the year 1780, the American Revolution was slipping away in the South. The British had taken Charleston. Patriot armies had been beaten again and again. Many people believed the rebellion was dying. British General Charles Cornwallis certainly thought so. He believed the South would be easy to control, full of loyalists ready to support the king. To him, it felt like the end was already written. Cornwallis sent one of his most confident officers, Major Patrick Ferguson, into the countryside. Ferguson wasn't just a soldier. He was bold, loud, and sure of himself. He believed fear was the best weapon. So he sent a message to the frontier settlers living beyond the Appalachian Mountains. The message was clear and cruel. Stop resisting, or I will march over the mountains, hang your leaders, and burn your homes. To Ferguson, it was a warning. To the people who heard it, it was a threat to everything they loved. That message moved faster than Ferguson expected. It passed from cabin to cabin, from farm to farm. Men read it by firelight while their children slept nearby. Wives watched their husbands fold the paper in silence. These were not politicians or trained soldiers. They were hunters who knew the woods better than roads. Farmers who worked the land with their hands. Men who owned rifles not for war, but for food. Fear came first. Then anger followed close behind. And finally a decision. They would not wait to be hunted. One by one, they left their homes. Some kissed their children goodbye, unsure if they would return. Some said nothing at all, afraid their voices would break. They gathered with neighbors who felt the same fire in their chest. No uniforms, no official orders. Just a shared promise to stand together. History would later call them the Overmountain men. But at that moment, they were simply people defending their lives. Nearly 900 of them began marching east through the mountains. Rain soaked their clothes. Cold winds cut through them at night. Food ran low. Some men walked barefoot over sharp stone. But they kept moving. These men were used to hardship. They had hunted in silence for years, learned patience, learned how to wait for the right moment. They did not look like an army, but they moved like one. Ferguson, meanwhile, felt safe. He chose a place called King's Mountain and set up camp. He believed the high ground would protect him. To him, a mountain meant strength, like standing on a rooftop during a storm. What he didn't understand was that King's Mountain was more like a long hill, wrapped in trees. Those trees were not decoration, they were cover. And cover, in the hands of good shots, is deadly. On the 7th day of October, the silence broke. The Overmountain men appeared from the woods, spreading out like a tightening ring. They did not march in lines. They moved tree to tree, rock to rock. Their rifles cracked from the shadows. These were long rifles built for hunting, accurate like pointing a finger. Each shot was aimed, personal. The loyalists fired back, then charged downhill with bayonets. Long blades meant for close fighting, like knives on sticks. Each charge pushed the Patriots back. Each time it looked like they might break, but they didn't. They slipped into the trees, waited, then came back again, like a tide pulling away, only to return stronger. To the loyalists on the hill, it felt like the woods themselves were alive. Ferguson rode across the ridge, blowing his silver whistle, refusing to hide. He believed showing fear was worse than death, but bravery can be loud, and loud things get noticed. Shots rang out. His horse reared. Then came the moment that would change everything. As Ferguson fell, confusion spread across the hill. Order stopped. Fear rushed in. The Loyalists tried to surrender, waving cloth, shouting for mercy. Some patriots kept firing, their anger boiling over from months of burned homes and lost friends. It took leaders yelling to finally slow the guns. The fight, which felt endless, had only lasted about 65 minutes. When the smoke cleared, the ground told the story. More than 1,000 Loyalists were dead, wounded, or captured. Fewer than 100 patriots lay still. News of the victory would soon shock Cornwallis and force him to retreat, breaking the British grip on the South. But standing on that hill, surrounded by bodies and smoke, the Overmountain men did not yet know what they had changed. They only knew one thing: the war was not over, and the next move would decide everything.